What's up everyone, this is Devlin here bringing you some The Last of Us Factions gameplay. In this video we're going to be checking out some 9mm tips. Now I do want to jump straight to the topic of this mic that I'm using. For those of you who do not know, I'm currently traveling on vacation, and by the time you guys see this video I'll actually be back. Now another thing I wanted to point out is that these tips, these 9mm tips that I'm sharing with you guys, I've done a couple things to kind of narrow them down for you. The first is, I am not including any sort of playstyle, other weaponry, loadout balancing, and I'm definitely not comparing the 9mm to any other sidearms. I'm trying to isolate the 9mm and give you guys tips on just the sidearm. The first thing I want to talk about is the fire rate. What you guys are going to want to do with the 9mm at all three upgrade stages when it's not upgraded, after the first upgrade and after the second upgrade, is find the 9mm's rhythm. It is a semi-automatic weapon, which means it fires as fast as you tap the trigger. However, there is a maximum fire rate that it hits, and what you're going to want to do is find out exactly what those rates are. A great way to do this is simply use the 9mm and get a feel for it. The reason why this is so important is because the high fire rate of the 9mm causes severe damage wobble on the opposing players. Now this can do anything from wobbling their aim to preventing them from hitting you with a modded 2x4. This brings me to my second tip, and the second tip is chaining hits. When you're going to be attacked by an enemy, especially if they have a modded 2x4 and they're coming to instant hit you, what you're going to want to do is chain those hits, because as you hit them with the 9mm, it actually staggers them and prevents them from following through with the 2x4 hit. It doesn't stagger them to the degree of absolutely canceling the swing, but it does stagger them enough to give you enough time to chain the second shot. If you can chain all 5 shots, you can literally start shooting them after they've started swinging, and you'll be able to finish them and down them before they can finish following through with their swing. The third tip that I want to give you guys is a very easy one, and that is reloading. Especially with the 9mm, you guys want to force yourself into a habit of constantly reloading. You never want to get into a fight with an empty clip. This is a pretty universal rule, but of course it applies to the 9mm. The third thing I want to talk to you guys about is the recoil. You guys are going to want to be able to manage the recoil of the 9mm, and I don't know what else to say regarding this topic, guys, other than use the 9mm. Through sheer experience, you're going to be able to get a hang of the recoil of the 9mm, and you're going to get a good idea of how it feels. The next tip I want to give you guys is stop moving before you start shooting. This is a huge accuracy bonus to it, and not just the accuracy of the reticle itself. As you step, the screen itself will wobble around. Whereas if you stop moving, the screen stops wobbling and the reticle shrinks. This is highly important, especially if you're doing those long range shootouts. Not moving while shooting your 9mm is going to make way more of a difference than when you are moving and shooting the 9mm. Because even when you are moving, you're not moving very much. So kind of that exchange of moving but sacrificing all that accuracy is just not a fair exchange. So try your best whenever you are shooting with the 9mm to stop moving. Any times that you do move are probably when you're standing up and you're peering around a corner and ducking out, ducking in, ducking out, ducking in. You could try something like shoulder swapping, but anyways, I don't want to get too specific. The next tip I want to give you guys is the damage of the 9mm. As I'm sure many of you already know, but this is a 9mm tips video and I'm going to touch all the bases, is the 9mm takes 5 body shots to down an enemy and 2 headshots. Using this knowledge, especially the body shots, is great for combining with other weapons. Now again, I don't want to get specific with what weapons or what combinations work best, but simply keep that in mind. If you fire at an enemy with your 9mm and deliver 3 shots, know in your head exactly how much damage you've caused them. Just as an example, if an enemy is attacking you with a 2x4, you can chain 3 shots and then hit them with your unmodded 2x4. That will actually down them faster than they can down you with their mod. The next tip I want to give you guys is about precision. Headshots are hugely influential with the 9mm. Almost every single weapon in the game takes 2 headshots to down. There are obviously exceptions like sniper rifles and the bow, but a lot of medium powered weapons take 2 headshots. The 9mm is without a doubt a very weak gun, but for some awesome reason it still only takes 2 headshots to down an enemy. So if you can, guys, definitely go for the headshots because they pay off like you wouldn't believe. Another touch on precision is, of course, if you see an enemy with armor, shoot them in the legs. Do not go for the armor. There are, of course, always exceptions to everything, so if your pistol is fully upgraded and you have a full magazine and you think you have that leg up on the enemy player even though they're armored, then go ahead and pincushion them. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the ammunition of the 9mm. As I'm sure you guys know, you start off with a 9-bullet magazine clip. The first upgrade bumps that to 9 bullets, and the second upgrade bumps it to 11. Now this is just education, it's not actually a tip. The tip is the 9mm is great for harassment shots. I call them harassing shots, and what harassing shots do is it's highlighting the fact that the 9mm is weak, but using that to actually change the dynamic of a combat. There are, of course, a lot of factors that play a role in factions, and intimidation is one of them. Some of you guys may know of the classic holding a Molotov in your hand. If you have a Molotov in your hand, you can scare away a lot of enemies. Now, the 9mm, even though it's incredibly weak, can actually give you the same effect. If you deliver a whole bunch of harassing shots that aren't actually meant to down anybody or execute anyone, it can still cause the enemy to hold the position or fall back and allows you to manipulate the enemy players. Or even if, as you're delivering these harassing shots, you graze one guy and then he decides to leave for whatever reason, if that enemy does not want to use up an entire med pack healing himself because he really didn't take that much damage, that can actually give whatever teammate he bumps into next a huge advantage on that enemy player. Again, that's a very specific example, but the point I'm getting across, guys, is that sometimes you just need to go ham with the 9mm and just fire bullets like mad because it does make a difference. Now, a lot of you guys might say, hey, Devlin, how are you going to do that if, you know, ammo's so sparse in this game? And that's where you take a lot of other basic knowledge, such as retrieving ammo from toolboxes. Use those harassing shots, but before you actually start firing, look at the nearest toolbox and kind of plan in your head an escape route on how, after you've fired all your bullets, how you're going to get out of that fight. Grab a toolbox, restock your ammunition, and then go back in. If you're Mr. Moneybags, just buy more ammo. I would highly suggest not, it's just a big thing, but let's get back to the 9mm tips. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is actually the exact opposite of harassing shots. And this is when you see an enemy and you decide in your head that you are going to kill that enemy. I call this investing. Now what this means is you've seen the enemy, you started firing those shots, you've started chaining those hits, and you've made the personal decision that you are absolutely hell-bent on making sure that enemy player gets downed. If you guys want to pull that off using the 9mm, you need to invest. And this means make sure you get the job done. Do not let the enemy heal. Do not let the enemy escape. If you chain 4 shots and then the enemy starts booking it, you're gonna run after him because he needs one 9mm shot, and that is a gamble that you cannot let pass. Anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed these tips. I do want to give a shout out to a lot of the new players coming into the community and into this channel through Remastered. I want to let you guys know that I will be putting out a lot more tips and tricks videos. I figured I would start with my favorite weapon in the game, which is of course the 9mm. Now if you guys want me to do a tips and tricks video on something else, then let me know. Comment down below, send me a message, shoot me a message on PSN. Whatever works, guys. I just hope that you newbies here really enjoy the community, enjoy this channel, and get involved. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now go throw on that 9mm and get some practice in. I'm out. Cheers.
No one comes back from that. That's it, we're done here, folks. Let command know we're coming home.